Early on, I discovered, I'm clicking next, a story about a man, Wesley Autry, who was waiting on a subway station in his home of New York City, and he was with his two daughters, aged 2 and 4, waiting for the train to get home. And if you've ever been to New York City, you know these subway stations are usually packed, especially when it's time to go home. So he was doing his thing, and then he saw a man fall to the ground, having some kind of seizure. And then the man fell onto the tracks. And Wesley instantly said, "I'm going to do something." So he jumped onto the tracks. Actually, before that, he said, "Can you just look after my two daughters?" Jumped onto the tracks and tried to lift the man up. He was having a seizure, and it was very difficult. You know how deep the track is from the platform. And he was trying, and then he saw the train coming. And rather than jumping up onto the platform to save himself, he lay this man down between the tracks, lay on top of him to protect him from the train, and said, "Please, sir, just be still. I've got two girls up there who want me to live today." And then the train ran over the top of them. 5 carriages, and it missed Wesley's head by about that much, enough to take his winter hat off his head. And then when the train stopped, he yelled out, "Can somebody please tell my daughters that I'm okay?" As you can imagine, they were probably wondering. 50 other people were on the platform and didn't do anything. And this really sparked my interest, not just in what is a hero and the character of a hero, but really into the psychology of it, the action of it. Why did Wesley act? Why did so many people not? And if I was to fall off the stage right now, how many would help? If I'd asked you yesterday, said you're going to be at a thing tomorrow and someone's going to fall off the stage, would you do something? You would all say, yeah, absolutely. But when it happens, a vast minority of people actually do the thing. Now, we've been surrounded by superheroes today in the room. In our lives, we're surrounded by superheroes. But it's easy to think about people who are bigger than life. And it's easy with superheroes to think about the villain. And I like to say the opposite of a superhero is not a villain, it's a bystander. A bystander, when they see something wrong, they do nothing. They stand and watch, they walk away, they pretend that it's not happening. And a hero does something. That something could be anything. So for the last 12 years, I've been training heroes. And a quote from this Greek warrior poet, which sounds like a really attractive job, was from Archilochus. He said that we don't do what we think we'd do. We don't do what we think we would do yesterday when we said, yeah, we would definitely help that guy. But we fall down to that level of training. So my job is to train people to get their level higher. No one's ever going to be 100% guaranteed to do the right thing when they see a problem, but if your chances are higher, the world's going to be a better place. And when I was talking to Bonnie at 2 in the morning, her time, mid-afternoon for me in Australia, which was much more comfortable, she was telling me about the values of Real Estate One. And I hear that kind of thing a lot, and usually just, well, not usually, I certainly did then, glossed over. But as she was saying them, I was like, hang on, can you say those again? And I thought there's a lot of connection there. And so integrity, Moliere said that it's not what we do that we're judged on, but it's what we don't do. It's so much about this bystander behavior. We look to people and we say, right, they have integrity because of the things that they do. But you also have to look at what they're not doing. Did they see something wrong at work and not do something? Did they see an accident and drive past? Integrity is not just what we do, but what we don't. The other part that I saw was excellence. And Aristotle said, excellence is not about single actions. It's not about the thing that we do once or the thing that we achieve. It's the habit. And a heroic habit is such an important piece to increasing your chances of doing that heroic action, performing that heroic action. Another was caring. The filmmaker Guillermo del Toro said that we are affecting people every day. But really, I think what his point there is that we have the chance to affect people with our decisions every day and our indecision. We can make a difference, and the people in this room, I know, are super aware of that, of the effect that you can have in your community. And caring seems like one of those things, well, yeah, you have to be caring. But really think about how your caring is being demonstrated. Another was teamwork. Takes 2 flints to make a fire. Snowflakes, incredibly brittle or sensitive, but you put a bunch of them together and all of a sudden, as we know in Michigan, there's a lot of power there. You can't do things by yourself. No hero in the history or the history of literature or myth has done these things by themselves. They have supporters, they have a team, and it's something that we need to remember to do. If we want to change the world, we need to gather people around us. And finally, empowerment. Neil Gaiman said that it's individuals that are making a difference in the world, but it comes from their imagination, from being able to see the solution to the problem that's in front of them. We need to be able to see the solution, but then also act. But importantly, especially if you're leading others, we need to give people the power to take action. We need to give them permission to take action. A lot of us don't act. One of the barriers to actions is that we don't know if it's our responsibility. It's our job if we have permission. So today we're going to give you a few speakers, as I said, a taste. There's a variety of topics. But I'll give you one example of our hero training. And at 3 o'clock, we'll be running a 1-hour session. If you're interested in raising your level of training, we will guarantee to raise your level. But one of the barriers to action is embarrassment, fear of standing out, not wanting to step out of the crowd. We say someone else will do it. So one of the things that you can do as a training is to practice standing out. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Like you could wear orange pants on a stage in front of hundreds of people, for example. If you see me outside of this, you will see me wearing jeans and a black shirt every day. A couple of years ago, my daughter, who's 9 now, was 5 or 6, and came out of her room dressed in some extravagant imagination that only a young child can do, completely colorblind. And she looked at me and she said, "Dad, you're really boring." And apart from just destroying me, that was really true. And so when I get on a stage, I will put on orange pants to feel immensely uncomfortable. I felt uncomfortable walking through the hotel lobby this morning. You can imagine how I feel standing on the stage. But I do it so that I can practice being uncomfortable. So when someone needs me and I have to be uncomfortable to help them, I'm going to do it.